we're working on getting a Lokar shifter installed in here. And we got the first process part of this done. There's something missing here. Yeah, we pulled the bench seat out. Thing is heavy. Did that while I had some help over here. But the next thing we got to do is I need to get this section, front section of carpet, I need to get it moved forward so that I can put the shifter there on the hump. So we're going to have to pull the sill plates. I need to do some cleaning up in here. And there's some other things that we're going to do while I got this bench seat out. And probably, I'm shaking you right there. You're sitting on the bench seat in the rear bucket, excuse me, rear bench seat. You need to pull the bottom part of it out and work on getting this carpet straightened back out. For whatever reason, this seat's moving, so I got to work on trying to get the bracket put back in place so it holds this rear seat in place and it'll stop wrinkling this carpet. I'll get you a shot of all this here in just a minute, but for right now, let me get in here and get to cleaning this area up so we can get in here and work. Well, I got the big chunks up anyway, but I want to talk about these seal plates. I looked at possibly getting some more seal plates because the interior shop that did the work on this car, well, they didn't do us any favors. They kind of boogered these two holes up here. The screws are not holding anything. They're pulled through the seal plates. I've looked at the price on these seal plates. They're $140 for another set of them. Well, I just don't want to spend that right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some new screws. I'm going to go get some stainless screws. Why the interior shop that put these in did not put down stainless screws and put in some janky used screws, I don't know. My father-in-law had this stuff done. It is what it is. He was not exactly happy with it either. There's a few little small things. Overall, they did a pretty good job. But, you know, I think he was just excited to have the car back and wanted to get it on the road. Otherwise, he probably should have made them replace these with good stainless screws and new screws. I mean, why are you going to put that crap back in here in a car that looks like this? That's just not acceptable. Anyway, I'm gonna get in here and while I'm beating my gums, let's see if I can work one-handed and hold a camera with the other one. I don't even know, I'm not sure, that might go through the carpet. I don't know if they drilled it through the carpet or what, or if this lip's what's holding it. I don't know when I get it up though. So, alright, I'm not going to sit there and make y'all watch me take out a bunch of screws. We'll come back once we get them all out, and I'll bring you in for the reveal on peeling this seal up. Let's see what's under it. Okay, drum roll please. First time this seal has been up in 20 years. It's even marked left. You can kind of see how they boogered those holes up. That screws hand tight, screwed into nothing. There's nothing there. That's why that screw's not held on to nothing. And doesn't appear to be a screw in that one. And yes, they did go through corner of the carpet to hold the carpet down. This piece needed to be pulled further this way just a little bit to be caught under this edge right here. So when we go back together with it, we're going to get all this cleaned up, get all this sand off, get everything vacuumed up real nice. They put dum-dum around that. Looks like they missed on that hole. And that hole goes out to open air. Well, I don't know. They really screwed us over on this windlace. Was kind of another thing they did. And my father-in-law kind of screwed it up trying to get it shoved back in. I'm going to see if I can do something with that while I got this apart as well. Anyway, that's not getting this shifter in. Let's go take that other sill plate up over there, and then we'll come back and roll this carpet back, see if we can get to what we need to get to. Okay, I went and got my drill gun there, and we're ready to take the second sill plate off, and it is marked right. And the screw is going through that carpet there, just misses it there. And as you can see, looks like there's some rust around those screws. A little rust there, a little rust there, a little rust there. Just a dab of rust there. All this is new metal, and we'll be treating some of that with a little dribble of Pour 15 more than likely. But let's back up here and see if we can get this carpet rolled back like we want. Let's set these sill plates out of the way. We don't tear everything up in the process. Drill, our screws, seat belts, broom. Let's see. Oh yeah, she's on the way back. Let's roll it up. And we got some carpet padding here. Yeah, I think we'll be able to do that right there. This right here, the bench seat comes to like right here. And this rib I could feel up underneath the carpet, so I kind of got an idea of where the bench seat was. It was like, bench seat was like right along in here, front edge. The shifter's gonna go right here. Now, something I'll bring you in here real close and see. This was done 20 years ago, well, 25 years ago probably now. I want you to look at these floor pans. What does that look like? It looks like fiberglass, don't it? Well, that right there is 25-year-old Pour 15 and fiberglass over brand new metal. The body man had welded in all new flooring from scratch. You can see a body plug kit. That was still original. Some of the original metal was like right in here. And all this, all up to about here on the tunnel on both sides there. Back here in the passenger rear and the driver rear, all that floorboard was gone. But his body man bought some custom sheet metal and made the floor pans. And they go up, of course, up to the toe board up that way. But solid today as it was 25 years ago. So let me grab my shifter. I'm going to kind of sit it in place and see what it looks like. All right, boys, there she is. She's just kind of sitting there. I'm thinking that's going to be the spot and where we put her. So I've got to get out the instructions tonight and do a little reading and a little looking and see what I'm going to have to do. I bought some hole saws and some body saw blades to be able to try to do this project. So that is all I'm going to do for tonight, and through the magic of time and editing, we will come back and hopefully tomorrow we're going to start whittling on this thing. Alright, so I'm pretty sure where we left off is I said I needed to read the instructions. Been a lot of water going to the bridge since then. Last week we had big C roll through the house. My wife caught the big C, so we had to isolate, and I had to take care of her for the week. And then later in the week I had a medical procedure myself. All good on that front. Doctor said I'm perfectly healthy, so it's time to get back on this, which I actually did yesterday. We we read the instructions and started tearing into what they said to do. And what they said to do was to remove all of the old shifter and shift linkage and get all of that out of the way. Well, let me bring you in here so I can show you what that entailed. All right, you see that the steering wheel is missing. Get you adjusted there. So we had to pull the steering wheel. We had to remove this collar and get it out of the way. And well, you say, well, why do you have to do all that? Well, this is the factory shifter. It's up there on the column. And well, I could have just pulled that roll pin out right there and taken the arm off, but then you'd have had this bar, and it just wouldn't have looked right in my opinion. So we went ahead and pulled this. This is part of a, yeah, you like that right there? That was part of an emergency repair in Memphis, Tennessee to get the shifter back working. I'll have to tell that at another time. Anyway, it goes down on the column, down the steering column, all the way down the steering column. Hopefully there's enough light over here, I'll show you. Not a good angle, but there it is right there. I'll see if I can zoom in. Right there, you see those two little notches on that tube right there? Well, that is where the lower pivot mounts, and I'll show you that. It's right there, and it basically mounts like a exhaust muffler clamp. It has a U-bolt that clamps it. This is your reverse and safety neutral switch, and reverse lights and safety neutral, and the only thing we had hooked up was the reverse lights, and it was janky. It didn't work real good. And see that point right there, it sits in here something like that, facing that way, and that is the pivot for the lower section of your shift shaft on this 54 Ford. We just adapted it to make it work. And this right here is the part of the shift linkage from a 1954 Ford to go down and put a Ford-O-Matic into gear. This piece right here is a piece that I got off of some other linkage off of a Chevrolet, and this is stuff I put together 25 years ago to be able to put this thing in gear and to make it work correctly. We was broke back in the day. Not much better today, but a little bit better off. So that's why we're upgrading to the Lokar and doing away with this, because sometimes this piece right here would actually get hung up and not actually lock it into drive. So that's why we're upgrading. All right, so one of the things we're going to have to do in here, we've got to clear all this stuff out. I've actually found some other stuff in here that was done after I moved north and wasn't doing some of the remaining work left to be done on the car. This car's had two different stereos installed in it. The first stereo was installed by, I'll just say it, I think he was a crackhead. Probably was. And then my father-in-law carried it, didn't like the way it worked out, carried it over to a company in Mobile, Alabama, and had the stereo properly installed. But they did not take out, they just deadheaded any of the wiring that was put in the car by the previous crackhead, and they didn't take any of it out. They just coiled it up neatly, taped it off, and tucked it under the carpet. It's not connected to anything, so it really doesn't matter. But since I'm in here fooling with all this, and I need to do something with this carpet that's all janked up right there, I got to get the back seat out anyway, so we can go ahead and see those wires hanging out the door. All of that can be removed and gotten out of the car. There's no need for it to be there. It's got to go. So I'm fixing to set up and get my tail to work. All right, well, we got part of our mission successful. We got all this bundles of wire that don't go to anything have been removed. So let's move you inside. I'll show you. All right, let's take a look inside here. You look there, that is a seat holding bracket. Well, we had the other one that goes on the other side over there that never got installed. I have torn the back of the car apart, torn through everything that we've ever kept for this car, trying to find it. But I have a piece of scraps sheet metal. I think I'm just going to make one. Alright, one of the other issues that I talked about we need to take care of, we need to do something with this windlace. It got pulled out. My father-in-law kept trying to tuck it back in, and there's no tucking this back in. You've got to take the screws out. Since the back seat's out, that will allow this panel to move this way. I'll have to remove this garnish molding, or at least undo a couple of screws so that I can move it just a little bit and get this pushed back in behind it and try to capture it and pinch it back in place. It's a little ratty right here. I think I can still work with it though, get it shoved back in most of the way. I can at least make it better than it is. So that's what we're fixing to do. The old drill gun. I'm taking out a few screws and hopefully we can get them started back. Not too much angst and anxiety. Take to get this garnish molding out. Sure these screws are all about the same length. They're not, so you kind of pay attention to where I'm removing screws from. Let's see, I think I got another one here. See if that's going to allow it to start moving or not. Not really. See if I take this one out, if I get a little more movement. I don't know. Yeah, I can move it a little bit now that that screws out. All right. A little bit of movement there. I might be able to stick a screwdriver back there and pry it just a little bit, ease it out. Just hoping that when I run that drill back in, it doesn't snag it and start trying to wad it up. Let's see what happens here. Well, we're trying to go behind two different things, and I don't know. Well, shoot. Let's see. Get it tucked back in and then clamped. Let's see. It's the fun of working on a finished hot rod, is trying to get everything done neatly and not scratch the crap out of something. Oh, you piece. Come on. Yeah, mostly tucked up in there. If I can get this piece when I put the screws in to kind of pinch it, I'll just have to be careful. Never let anybody in and out of this back seat, if anybody gets in and out of it, just to be careful not to put tug on it very much if we can. I'll help it. Alright, let's put some screws in and see what happens. I can hit the holes again. That's going to be the trick. Yep, got that one. Got that one. That one didn't wound very much. And chip the paint, of course. I think maybe there it is. About bit that time. I put a little touch-up paint there. Yay! Brainchild. Let's see. Get that one to go. Feel for the hole, maybe. I think I got it. Let's try it and see. Nope. Of course not. Felt like it bit then. It might be good if y'all could actually see what I was doing. It's so dang dark. I don't know if you'll be able to see or not. Come on. There it is. And chipping the paint, of course. Joys of working on a finished hot rod. Felt like it bit something. Let's see. Come on. Ah. See if that bites into anything. Can't tell what it got. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Yep, that one's going. There we go. Alright, so that looks much better than it did. Let's go back. Light would be really good right about now, but you can see we got it captured. They're pulled around there, and so it'll do what it's supposed to do. It's just supposed to be laying up against the door when the door closes. So that's why it's called a wind lace. It's supposed to help stop wind noise. Alright, so let me show you what we've done here. This is the seat hook for the driver's side. I made one for the passenger side, and one of the other things that I did while I was in here is I put a screw in the carpet. I don't know if you can see that. I'm zooming too close, I think. Back up. I put a screw, you can't see it, kind of pulled down in the carpet and the padding. I put a screw right there. Took Put another one right here. And I put another one on the other side by that other bracket over here. You can see that bracket that I made right there. It's just basically just bent up sheet metal. Alright, so we're going to try to vacuum this thing out and get it good and clean before we put that back seat back in. And we're going to see if we can get it caught and hemmed up behind those brackets, because anytime anybody sits back there any kind of length of time, the bottom seat cushion tries to scoot forward and takes up all your leg room. So I'm fixing to get busy and vacuum this thing out. All right, real quick, you just saw me do that little quick time lapse of me vacuuming up the back here, get this carpet nice and clean. Let me show you something. This came from one of my wife's retired Shark vacuum cleaners. One of the kids broke it, I think, but it wouldn't hold on to her Shark vacuum anymore, and she was going to throw it away. I said, well, let me see it. So I just took, tube got broke right there. But my vacuum nozzle for my shop vac slides up far enough on it that it seals off on it. But what this thing is, it's an upholstery tool. Let me open it up and I'll show you. The vacuum coming through it, it's got this little turbo wheel. It's got a belt. I guess you can see that, but it's got a beater bar in there. That belt turns that beater bar, and it helps, and you take and close it and lock it, but it helps, and that rotates, but it helps pick up any little debris that's left in your carpet. So if you can get your hands on one of these, automotive upholstery and carpet, that little thing is priceless. So I guess it's time to get on the struggle bus and see if we can get this back seat in here. I'll get to come along for the ride. Oh, here we go. Trying not to scratch nothing. Again, struggles of working on a finished car. I don't know if these brackets are in the right spot or not. We're going to find out here in just a few minutes. Okay. All right, got the seat belts coming up on top. We do have 3 seat belts back here. What are we catching on? Oh, come on, are you kidding me? Not kidding. Passenger side windlass is being a pain. And it's out. Of course, it pulled it out. Let's see if we can go with it like it is. Trying to pull it out there. It's past it on that side. There it is. Oh man, what it takes to get that seat in. Who knew? Let's see if I can get this other side. The seat has never been right ever since it's been installed. The upholsterer. They never got it locked in. I got it locked in that time though. Let's see if we can get this side locked in. He's trying. Nope. I got it. I think I got it. Oh, wow. Here's the problem. I get it in where it goes. It's trying to lift the back seat up off where it goes. It's wedging and pushing the back seat up. So now the back seat's not locked in place. Man. Okay. What are we gonna do about this? I don't know. I don't know. But the bottom of the back seat won't come forward no more.